there's a bit of a distinction between clinical trials that we'll do for med device and clinical trials that we'll do for pharma. If we think about a medical device like a diagnostic test, proving out with clinical samples that the device is going to meet the performance criteria, it's going to detect what it's supposed to detect and do it in the proper environment. And then when we think about a prototype clinical trial, we're often thinking about big pharma, what a pharma trial looks like. And they're quite different. There's typically 4 phases of that clinical trial. The first one being phase 1 is typically in a population of healthy volunteers, and it's just looking at the safety of the pharma product that we're going to test. It's very small N value, kind of around 50 patients or so, depending on what the power calculation needs to be. Phase 2 is in the population where the drug's being deployed, right? If you have a disease state and we're seeing if it's effective, and those need larger numbers, typically in the less than 1,000. Phase 3 will often use comparing to an existing product or a standard treatment, and therefore you need a much higher number of subjects, and so it's a much larger trial. So phase 3 is kind of, if we think about product development of pharma products, is probably one of the more important ones that there are, because you're setting out your target product profile and you're showing its differentiation in the marketplace. And then finally we get to phase 4, and phase 4 is often in this post-market surveillance, where it's going for longer periods of time, larger populations of people, and looking for long-term effects of the drug or side effects in that case, and reporting back to the regulatory body.